Good afternoon. We're live. It's 3:10 Central Standard Time, 9:10 BST bullshit Standard Time in the UK. It's across the Pondcast, the best podcast you never heard of. Sam and Matt running the show, as always, right off a cliff, into a iceberg, whatever. We're here. It's Sunday. You know what's going on. Hey, you know what? I almost got to the entire intro and didn't actually have any kind of a fuck up. I was actually proud that I got past the across the podcast part, right? And then, of course, I said Bryceburg. And, of course, you had to point it out because you're an asshole.
I'll call you out. Anyway, I'll call you out.
That's okay. So we're here. It's Sunday. You know us. You love us. And we have a special guest on the show. We have CKID on the show. First time. How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the podcast. Appreciate you taking time on a Sunday to come on. I know you're busy. And so we really appreciate you taking the time to show up. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. First off, man, I appreciate you guys. Man, this is hype. You guys got me hyped, man. I'm excited to be on, man. Excited to talk about whatever. Let's get to it.
Cool. Good deal. Well, we already saw people in the chat. We got Simon Hypno. We got Rolando in the chat. We got all the people just jump in. So we wanted to first ask you what kind of cans you got on, because those are really, really like nice. Matt's got his the co-op special. They're like what, $50?
Fuck you, man. I got these on Amazon special, thank you.
The Amazon
yeah,
special, man, I'm with you.
It's a V-Motor mic and V-Motor, you know, the V-Motor stuff. It's good.
Right,
it's good quality for a good price.
Hey, there you go.
Which is what I'm all about.
It's all about
bang,
that.
Bang for buck. Is that what you're gonna go there? Okay, cool.
Well, no, it was more like that's what I can afford. That's what I'm getting.
Nah. And I'm rocking a pair of Status CB1s with the V-Motor mic. So got them on sale. Actually, it's $60 to me, and they're really good. I mean, all I know is the mic cord they gave me with the actual headphones. They give me like a regular cabled one, and then it's like 37 feet long. It's like literally like I could walk all. I'm like, I don't really need this. I actually have it like this, bundled with a tie, because I like listen to it without like my phone or something. It literally hangs on the floor and I trip over it. So it's a terrible cable. She have a smaller one. But so what kind of headset are you? Those are really actually pretty nice.
Yeah, these are actually the Blue Yetis. These are the Yetis Mix-Fi headphones.
Okay.
They're basically they're like studio mixing headphones. So literally right before I hopped on this, I was literally recording a rap for one of my videos coming up for a collab with somebody. And then speaking of the whole cable thing that you just talked about, like literally the same cable issue with this one. The cable is like 50 feet long. I literally, y'all can't see it, but I literally got it tied up here on the side. Just so
right, he's got it wrapped around.
Right, so it's not like hanging all the way down on the floor. But yeah, man, I love these headphones, man. These headphones are these honestly, and I'm gonna say this in a video later, but these were my go-tos before the AirPods Max. The AirPods Maxes, they're great. These are still like my go-tos, but yeah, AirPods Max definitely made me think twice.
Cool. And we got TKR Bay is in the show. Hey, yes, we are doing well, and I see Ronald's in the chat, and I thought I saw Joe Hickey's in here. So we got our regular cast of folks at DT as well. He's in here because he's gonna now. DT will go ahead and make fun of me because I am older. I am 45 years old. So according to DT, I've wheel and fire were my inventions. By the way, there you go. So,
40,
yeah, and then of course, I've got 2 weeks in a row. I thought I saw her here earlier. That's my wife. She likes to participate in the chats because So we're all good. So, and Ronald's still older, as he always says. So I appreciate you taking the time. So I did watch your video about your AirPod Max, and my question to you is, and I'm glad you put that up, because as a person who isn't in the Microsoft, or who's in Microsoft but not in the Apple ecosystem, I really appreciated your commentary about, hey, if you're in all that, you got AirPods and iPods and iMaxes and all this. If you're Apple to the hill, right, you got all that. This is a justifiable purchase because of that ecosystem hook. If you're not, you're looking on just straight audio, there's probably some better options out there for probably a couple $100 less. I really appreciate that, and that's why I'm glad you just didn't just talk about just the standard stuff everybody talks about, but you actually touched on, because there are people who are listening to that who aren't in Apple's ecosystem, who are Microsoft users or Android users, that were like, do I need to buy this at that price point? Because obviously the functions aren't going to be there, but is it worth $550? I mean, basically, is that where we're at?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I think the biggest thing for people, at least that I want them to understand, is that audio quality across the board. Like, don't get me wrong, AirPods Max sound great, but so does the XM4s. They sound great as well. The Bose also sound great as well. So it's like, it really just, it boils down to like, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then yes, to me, I feel like this is a headphone that you should buy. I think the audio quality sounds great. The $550 price tag, obviously, we all know that's Apple tax. I do feel like they probably should be somewhere within the 400 range, but I also feel like that extra $150 kind of correlates to how well it works within the ecosystem too. So again, that kind of goes back to if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then I think, you know, it's made for you. But if you as Android guy, or if you just pretty much getting it for audio, then it's a tough sell for sure.
Right. And definitely. I guess my question would be, if you were not an Apple guy, would you even, like, for me, I knew they came out, they look cool. I like the hardware. I think they're really, really well made. Like, all Apple hardware is really well made. But for me, it just wasn't on my radar. I'm not actually looking to buy headphones, but I mean, because I'm not an Apple guy, I don't think it was really a thing. I'm like, okay, I like tech, I'm paying attention, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of people's radars who aren't already looking for like that kind of stuff, who aren't really into audio. I don't think that's going to be. I'm glad you brought it up because a lot of people don't. But I think, I think it's kind of a non-starter. I don't think people who are looking to get headphones, they'll just go to the Sonys or the Bose or something that's more commercially known for audio if they're doing that, unless they want to be an Apple guy.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, for me, like, I guess one of the questions I was thinking about for myself is, and you just pretty much kind of alluded to, is if I wasn't an Apple guy, like it's no secret, I'm an Apple guy. I have laptops, iPads, Apple TVs. I mean, you name it, I had an Apple product. But I asked myself, I'm like, if I wasn't in the Apple ecosystem like I am, would I even have looked at these or stay with like my favorite Sonys that I love is the XB950 M1s. The OG BTs are literally one of my favorites. But I probably would have stayed with either those, or these are great. Also staying with the XM4s or something like that, because I just wouldn't need all of the extra stuff that it gives me if I wasn't in that ecosystem. They probably wouldn't have been on my radar, especially when you look at that price tag. Like I said, $550. Hey, that's no cheap coming out of your pocket.
No.
Yeah.
Especially like we were talking about before, it's not just the price of them, it's the price of the stuff to replace if you lose it or breaks or something like that, the ear cups or the case itself.
Right.
That's going to hike the price up.
Absolutely. It's like having a Lamborghini, right? Like, you buy a Lamborghini, maintenance on it is going to cost you. Like, so
right.
You have to be prepared if you're buying something of that caliber. You lose the ear cuffs, it's going to cost you $70 to replace it. Or, let's say the mesh band messes up and gets a rip in it. You out of another $550 because there's no replacement for the headband in itself. So,
right.
Yeah. So, it's that Apple tax.
And I also appreciate the fact that you talked about the band being fabric. And you're like, if you have a dark colored one, right?
Yeah.
You're probably okay. But if you have a light gray or whatever, if you have like product, or if you're just a person that just, after a time, even if you wash your hair and you're wet, if you're sweating, you're just walking around, that's going to fade and it's going to look like garbage after a while. It's just going to really kind of look kind of nasty.
Exactly. And I've even seen some people post like their photos of them like having like just natural hair oils and stuff like that in their head, and they've posted photos of it, and the light color bands just and they've even tried to get them out, clean them, and it didn't work. So it's just like, man, just that fast in a couple of days, they already dirty, but
right. Well, I guess
it's only a thin material, isn't it? It's like a thin mesh sort of thing.
Thin, man. Like, honestly, I'm afraid to pick them up just by picking them up by the band.
Like you'll bend it.
Yeah,
like a handbag. They expect you to carry it like that.
Yeah, that's how they expect you to carry it. But like, I feel like I don't know, like sometimes I don't cut my nails or whatever. I feel like maybe my nail may snag into it or whatever. Or I tread carefully with these. That's for sure.
I would as well.
Yeah, for sure.
For that price, if you wear jewelry or anything like that, you're carrying them upside down.
Exactly.
Just carefully.
Yep, exactly.
So we always like to ask, because we especially when we have a person we haven't talked to, we've had a couple of people that have kind of repeated, but for people who've never been on the show, we always want to know, where did CKID start? Okay. Because obviously, I guess you were in high school, you weren't going, I want to be on YouTube as a tech reviewer or an audio guy, right? Maybe you were. I mean, some people, if they're younger, high school was only 5 years ago, right? YouTube was a thing. Whereas when I was in high school,
105 years ago.
Right. And when I was in high school in 1990, right? There wasn't even, there wasn't even like
That was the year I was born, mate. Just saying.
Right, exactly.
Oh, wow.
So for people who are older, right, you know what I mean? Yeah. So where did it start? Like, when did you know, one, you wanted to try it, and then if you leverage it into a full-time career, are you looking to do that? Like, what's the beginnings of CKID? How the channel started? Was it by accident? Was it somebody steering you to it? How did it all? We always like to ask the origin story.
Absolutely, man. I love telling the story. Like, for me, it's it basically started as like this thing where amongst my friends, right, my close friends of mine that I grew up with, and just kind of people I've met over the years, I've like been that tech guy, right? So I've been that guy that people ask, hey man, how do you do this? Or oh, I know you probably know how to do this type of thing. So that was me. I'm that guy. So I said, you know what, man? Like, and I always watch people like Marquez, Judging from Your Average Consumer, and I watched a lot of those guys before I actually jumped into the space. Even Roberto Blake, I watched him as well. And so for me, I was like, you know what? I could do that. Like that, what they do don't look hard. Like, I can pop out some videos or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Now if people want to ask me questions and stuff like that, I could just send them videos. And so really it came down to, so my mom and my dad, like, they're not tech people at all. Like, they're not the tech savvy people, not one bit. They're the type of people that will call me at 1 a.m. and say, hey, something's wrong with the computer or whatever. And I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm not tech support. So I was like, you know what? Let me start creating some videos. So then that way, instead of me spending hours with my friends on the phone or spending hours with my family on the phone, I could just shoot them a video and then be like, here, this is everything about it. Here's how you do it, blah, 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 blah. So, and then like I kind of started doing that. And then like I dropped my first video. First video was trash. I mean, it's a start, but man, that first video, it was ass. But I think for me, it was one of those things where I wanted it to be, it just started out as a hobby. And I was like, you know what, just doing this kind of for fun. I still, work a full-time job and stuff like that. So I was like, I just do this on the side. Whatever comes from it, comes from it. I had no idea opportunities that would come and different things like that. So eventually I started getting traction. And I was like, you know what? I started reading the comments. People's like, oh, we kind of like your vibe. We like your energy. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do more of these types of videos and just kind of see where it go. And then, I started doing more research on just other creators within the space. And I said, you know what? I admire those people like Marquez, TK, even for itself. I admire him. I admire people like Judner and different things like that. I admire those people, but I don't also want to copy them either. So that's when I started really doing some deep diving into who do I want to be and what do I want my brand to be on the platform. So then from there, I just started kind of doing the whole like rap things. I just started it as one video. I said, I'm a little nervous to drop it because I'm like, I don't know if people going, how is it going to be perceived? And then from there, I just started kind of doing more and more of that. And then that somewhat just became the brand. And I just literally just ran with it from there once I started getting, really good traction on it.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess so. My question is, are you actually, is this your full-time job, or you're still kind of working a full-time job? And I mean, if you're not doing this full-time, where is that something that you're thinking about doing? Like, does there have to be a magic number? Like, I have to get to this, or it's like, well, I'm there. Now I'm just going to go for it, right? I feel comfortable about it. I'm going to take a dive. I'm going to try it and see where it goes. Where are you at in that space?
I'm not full-time yet, but that is a goal of mine. But I also have other things that I want to accomplish kind of before that. So like I have like stages that I have like planned out as my goals, like written down. Literally, I got a board that's like right over here. Y'all can't see it, but it's over there. But I got a board that has like all of like my goals and different things I want to reach. So like, I'm married, so I have to think about it from not just my perspective, but I also have to think about it from my wife's perspective as well. So my goal is to get her from not having to work anymore, and then that way we can come on, and she can come on and become part of the team. She helps me out as well, but I would like it to be a little bit more. So my goal is to make sure that my wife is good as far as she can help out, or she can venture out into other things that she personally wants to do. And then from there, once I have that, and then my next goal I have is I want to actually start a conference here in the St. Louis area where I'm from. And I want to invite a lot of like inner city kids. So I come from a city, East St. Louis, where it's predominantly more of it's a low poverty neighborhood. So for me, I want to dispel the thoughts of, hey, sports is the only way out type of thing. And I was that sports player. I was great sports player in high school, different things like that. But I want to also show them, hey, there's another side that you can do. You can be a creator, you can film, you can take photos, you can do whatever. And I want to bring like creative friends like you guys, other creative friends that I've met along this journey, and I want to invite them here and bust inner city kids in and say, hey, teach what you guys know, and maybe we can reach one and teach somebody how to do this, and so they can see that there's another way that you can become successful, doing something else that you might not have thought that you would love. And so
I love
that, and then I get my dream home that I'm working towards, and then from there I feel like that would be my time where I decide to cut ties from my main job.
Gotcha. So that's
this guy here.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I'm just gonna say, are we talking about the East St. Louis Flyers? Is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because you probably don't know where I am right now.
Where are you from?
St. Louis.
I was getting ready to say, for you to say Flyers, I'm like, this guy must be from around here, because
I literally grew up on the hill.
Really? Oh, that's
I live in St. Louis. Actually, I currently still live in the St. Louis area. I actually live south in Jefferson County in Hillsborough.
Oh, bro, we're gonna have to link up, man.
Absolutely. So when you said East St. Louis, you said well, I'm from St. Louis, and you see my face, I looked at me, I was like,
so when I say,
I ain't got a fucking clue, man. I live like 5,000 miles away from you two.
Because typically when I say St. Louis, right, I just use it because it's the bigger area. But for those that don't know, East St. Louis is actually in Illinois. It's not actually in Missouri. So it's literally the Mississippi River divides the two states. So I grew up on the east side of that, but now I live in a different area than East St. Louis. But I'm from that city. But I just tell people St. Louis just to keep it general.
Right.
Which makes sense, because I wouldn't have known that. Because
right. So it's funny how you mentioned that, because as soon as he said, I was like, yeah, okay, watch this.
All right.
So the interesting part
Ronald
was
says 3,500 miles away I am.
Where are you from?
Okay.
Where are you from, Matt?
I'm in England, in Derby, so right in the middle of the UK.
Hey, that's on a goal of mine, man. It's one of my places I want to visit. I definitely want to go to England one day.
Absolutely, yeah.
I wouldn't come anytime soon.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we're on tier 4. They're like tier 30.
Wait about 5 years.
Yeah, I'd wait, man. Our prime minister just pulled another tier out his arse, like tier 4. Here you go. Like, wait, what? Tier 4's what? No, okay, everything's closed. Everything.
Yeah,
okay, great.
I hear
brilliant.
You think now, so
Oh shit! Yeah, just stay inside. Do not come here.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's interesting said, but yes, we absolutely got But if you're in that area, so I usually have to tell people about like where you're from, and they say, "Well, I'm in Chicago, I'm in LA, I'm in Dallas, right?" And you're like, "Oh, you don't know much about St. Louis food? You got the Hill, and you got gooey butter cake, and you got toasted raviolis, and then you're like,
toasted raviolis, man, stop." I want to get some of those.
I'm telling you now, it would change your life.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. He says that.
It's really good.
Right. Because it's one of those things where if you don't know, because when you mention this to people, I've been in places where I mentioned toasted ravioli, and they're like, what is is that I say, yeah, it's deep breaded, throw it in a fryer, and you serve it with marinara sauce. That's just what we do. And you put a little parm on top if you choose to, but I don't. But that's the thing. And like people in St. Louis, like everybody knows that because that's a St. Louis thing. But when you tell people from around the world, now it's starting to kind of leak out. People have heard of it. But 10 years ago, people were like,
toasted ravioli.
I go, no, dude, when you try these, your life will completely alter. You're like, how did this not happen until now?
What? This is what I mean. But you could tell me how to make them. I could make them here, and it wouldn't taste anything like it's supposed to. Because you got to think about ingredients are different in our countries. We have like the same type of sauce, but certain things are in ours that aren't in yours, and vice versa. So it all tastes different regardless.
So absolutely. So if you're doing the whole St. Louis, you grew up in East St. Louis, that's why when you said East St. Louis, I'm gonna blow his mind away. I'm gonna even tell him, oh, the East St. Louis Flyers. And here's the thing, folks, their football team used to crush the shit out of everybody. They would just crush people. Yeah, it was not even close. It was like basically like the New York Giants playing like your high school team. It was that bad. They would just roll people. Man, and I remember some team of mine actually lived in Webster Groves. That's where I kind of grew up as a kid. Yep. So I remember teams would play. Well, yeah, he knows. But
I'm just going to chat in the chat.
Right. So what happens is East St. Louis would come and do like these exhibitions, and they would it'd be 60-0, and they wouldn't even close. They would have running backs who would just literally take the ball and just blow. We're not even doing an off tackle. We're just going to go right up the middle, and dudes would be running like a billion miles an hour and be like, what the hell is happening? And that's like, and that wasn't like for a while. That was like 20, 30 years where they were just killing people. And they'd come over to the Missouri side and just destroy anybody in the St. Louis area. They were awesome. I don't know how they are now because I haven't been watching much football at the high school level. I know years ago they were crushing folks.
Honestly, bro, they're still the same. Like they actually, and that was. This is why when I tell people all the time, man, I had a lot of things planned this year for COVID, but until COVID. But like when I tell you COVID messed up one, so me, my dad, and my brother, we still go back to the game. It's kind of like. It's like me and my dad and my brother's bonding time. It's like our male bonding time. So, this year, the Eastside Flyers, they were actually going to play the #1 team in the country out in LA. It was scheduled, planned up, and everything. And we was going to travel out there. We was going to travel, make a whole weekend out of it, and then ended that. That ended that.
Yeah,
so,
screw up. Yeah, and so we, and you know about Turkey Day, so that got canceled for the first time in like 90 years, right? So the Webster Kirkwood game got canceled. So it's been bad. So we're done talking hand egg because Matt's done. Because it's okay when he's talking to these Patriots and they're talking about Arsenal, Liverpool, and Leicester and all, right? But then we actually get somebody not only who's American, but
have no literally from whatsoever with American football. I actually enjoy watching this when it's on. Like obviously it's not on all the time here, but when it's on or when they come over to Wembley and things like that, I enjoy watching it. Yeah. But it is a game called football. They play with the hands. I'm going to stand by that forever.
Absolutely. So that's good. So
okay.
Yeah. So not only is he very close to where I grew up, we both basically grew up in the same city practically. So that's kind of
cool.
Two
never crossed paths? Right.
Well, right. I don't know. Yeah, we probably did. We probably crossed paths about 100 times in our life. We just didn't know where we were. We either went to a Cardinal game or went to a Rams game.
Exactly. Sam lives in the middle of buttfuck nowhere at the minute, and he doesn't go anywhere because of COVID.
Actually, no, now I don't. But I mean, if he's in East St. Louis, like Busch Stadium is like literally. You could drive there in 10 minutes. I mean, there was a lot of people who live in that East St. Yeah, it's literally. I mean,
for the United States, that's close.
Yeah,
right.
So, it's really like the arch is literally. I see the arch every day out of my backyard. I just look out my backyard. The arch is like right there.
See, normally when you say people live close, it's like an hour, 2 hours away.
No,
but 10 minutes. That's
literally right across.
I still work downtown when I was going to work every day. So literally East St. Louis, when I actually go up to the upper floors of the building, I can just look across to the east side of the river over into Illinois, and you're literally looking. Really, if you look kind of north a little bit, you're literally looking right into downtown East St. Louis. When you cross the bridge, the Poplar Street Bridge into East St. Louis, and you come around a turn around Route 3, it's literally right there. It's not even. I don't even think it's like 6 miles. It's like 5 miles from downtown St. Louis. It's right there.
Wow.
And when they say East St. Louis, it's not. Yeah, I work downtown. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I drive about 50. But here's the thing.
There is so much that I've got to do when I fly over there.
God.
Surprisingly, we're gonna have to link up because
absolutely
no one knows where I work, but I also work downtown as well.
Okay, cool. That's good because I work downtown as well, and just like you, I can't tell anybody where I work because it's against the rules. So
probably
I have rules.
In the same place. I don't even know it.
If we do, that would be awesome because that's possible. So here's the thing. So like I said,
weird. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be weird. Yeah.
Then I will start asking questions. I'm like, how?
Yeah, no, I'm not in the firm. But interesting that Ronald made a comment really early on when we were talking about headphones. Still, he was saying he was going to stick. He's going to stick with his Audio Technicas that came with the audio.
Sounds a gangster.
Yep. Right. The 40. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So people, I guess, if you're in the market to buy, maybe this is on your radar. But for people who really have a good pair of headphones, either wireless or wired, or have ones that have both, where you can kind of use them both that way. I just can't imagine anybody, even at $400.
Yep.
Really going for that. It's really, I think the push with Apple, with everything they ever do, is always they know they want to get people hooked in their ecosystem. Either bring them in, see how much it's like. Well, if you had an Apple Watch, this would work great. If you had an Apple TV, this would work great. If you had an iMac, this would work great. Right? It's the whole what everybody does. Right? That's the pull. But I just don't think that. I think if you're sitting there looking at a shelf of stuff, right, and you're trying to make a decision on getting a new set of cans. I don't necessarily think that unless you're an Apple person that this is something you're going to take a swing at because mostly price. But even if it wasn't price, even at $400, I think there are other options that you may be better about. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Like what Webster just said, like the Audio Technicas, those are dope. First off, so my thing is like if you're not looking for headphones, like I don't know if it's worth it because I think a lot of people also need to understand is the music that we're listening to now, like we're not listening to quality like you get on like vinyl records and different things like that. We're listening to MP3s, compressed audio files anyway. So your $200 Audio Technicas or your $250 XM4s or something like that, they're going to sound good as well. So it's not going to be anything where it's like, oh my God, I got to get this. And I think one of the things with the AirPods Max that's kind of like a selling point is not necessarily the audio. It's not the ANC. It's more of like the experience you get with like things like spatial audio, those types of things that it is, you know, basically on this pair of headphones that you really can't get anywhere else, that at least other companies haven't necessarily mastered that yet. So that works with just their products in itself. So for me, you know, I'm kind of in that same boat with them. So if I wasn't looking for it, then I wouldn't buy them neither.
Right. So
but Apple have everything for everybody, especially in the last couple of years, in every price range. So it's sort of the AirPods, the Max, they are, if you're really into your cans and stuff like that. And then you've got the AirPods Pro if you just want listening for music, standard AirPods. So they've got a bit of everything. Yep, if you're literally just looking for music and you're in the Apple Store and you have an Apple Watch and an iPhone and everything else.
Yep. But
so like the Max, they're good for a certain group of people. Like they're not pointless. They're not useless in the market and all this stuff. They have their place. They might not be for everybody, but they do have their place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the R makes a comment too. It's going to be interesting to see how in 3 to 5 months, how the durability, even though within a premium build, but you have things on the build like that mesh. Like I didn't even think about that. I'm glad you made that point where you could literally put your finger right through the hole, or just natural wear. You know, as you flex and move it, it's just going to make it fatigue those edges.
It's curious to me that I'm sure a company like Apple that's making these expensive headphones, surely they've thought about this.
Yeah, but
like in your head, you would think, oh no, that Apple would have thought about that. There's something in there that's magic and it stops it from doing this and that and the other.
But I also think there's, I guess when I think about it from a business perspective, there's also margins, right? So there's areas on. I always feel like on every product that comes out, regardless of what product it is, tech product or whatever, there's always areas where I feel a company is going to maybe go a little cheaper on. To help with increase their margins and different things like that. So maybe that's an area, and maybe they say, you know what, we spent a lot of money on the other materials of it, but maybe that area is an area where they're like, we can increase margins here. So.
This bit's not important. Exactly. You can have the stainless steel rods in here, but this bit, fuck them.
Exactly. Yeah, let them suffer. But yeah, and then Scrappy Coco
that's $700 replacement. Thank you.
Right, and and just as a tech enthusiast, you know, because that's going to drive a conversation. I think a lot of times, and I know Matt's I know my piss yellow. I know. Hey, I know.
We're gonna get him.
This is proper
right.
Like skin.
We're gonna get him the Apple, man. We're gonna get him.
This is the skin you want, Sam. This one.
Yes,
here.
I do. I want to get that. So the interesting part is, and I know this is going to sound stupid, but the tech enthusiast, at least when I see this comment, I know what I think he's saying. Me, it's like I bought. Part of the reason why I like using this phone as a daily driver, my Duo, is because everywhere I go, people go, oh, because they see me like I'm doing something. I open it up and I start doing stuff, and they see the two screens. They immediately think it's a Z Fold, which is funny. Fine. But then they go, no, I say this is a Microsoft, it's a Surface, like a computer, the same computer. And they're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So people ask me about it all the time, like everywhere I go. And I get, even if they don't ask, they kind of look at it. So part of me being a tech enthusiast is it drives conversations. Yep. People will start to ask you questions and you say, oh, wow, that's an Android phone. It's two separate screens. And then like a guy at Best Buy was like looking at it, he goes, I've seen it. It's over on the shelf, but I never really looked at it. I've never seen anybody actually using it. And on top of it, you may tell me you could do, I was on Twitter, right? And then I switched over. I said, here's your website. Then here's Amazon. I'm like cross comparing, like right here. See, this is on sale. And I just went like this, and I showed it to him. He's like, that's amazing. It's just like it blew like you sell it in your store. You're literally looking at the device 40 feet away. But that's part of the reason why so for people who are enthusiasts, they, when you are an enthusiast, you're willing to kind of pay to play, right? You're willing to price is too goddamn high, right? You're willing to get into that because you realize it's either cutting edge.
You can't say that.
Yeah, I can. I'm just saying, but I mean, I'm not trying to take his stuff. I'm just saying, but when you're looking at prices, when you look at it objectively, you're like, man, that's like more than I really want to spend normally. But as an enthusiast or as like an early adopter or just somebody who wants to have somebody to talk about, It's why you buy the Lambo. Why you don't buy? You can buy a Maserati.
Yep.
You can buy a Tesla. You can buy a Corolla. And its essence, it does the same thing. It's a transportation mode, right? How you want to get there. And some people like, I'm willing to pay $285,000 for a car where you can't go 235 miles an hour, at least if you're living in LA, you probably can't, right? But it's interesting to see how that goes, where that tech enthusiast, you're willing to almost go beyond what you're even willing to pay normally, objectively, like, man, that's just ridiculous to pay $550, but I will because it's Apple.
I mean, I agree to that, man. Like, I think being a tech enthusiast like myself, like, man, I get excited about products just in general. Like, I know, there's a lot of people out there that may, they may, maybe hate on a product or whatever before they try it. But for me, I'm more the type of person where if it's something that I'm interested in, if it's something that's new, that I'm like, okay, I want to try this out. I want to see how it is. And I'm just so excited about just tech products in general. I have to pick it up just to see, just see it for myself. And I feel like a lot of people should too, especially if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you should definitely try it at least. Obviously, you can't get them until like March now, but yeah, I still think people should definitely try them out.
And Juan Bagnell's in the chat. He loves how you see you're using blue microphones and headphones and all that kind of stuff and talking about AirPods. I guess he sees the irony in that, which is fine. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I
think it's the best thing is about Apple stuff is if you're looking at them thinking, oh, I'll wait till next year when they go down in price. You don't know Apple very well.
I don't think they're going to go down.
Apple stuff holds its value
exactly
like no other company, like their phones, their everything. iPhone 11 is still 700. Like I'm like, what? But last year that equivalent Android is like now 250, 300.
Right.
Yep. It's amazing how they hold their value.
I would assume he's probably rocking an iPhone because I saw he pulled it up there. So I guess my question is, when you talk about like, are you the kind of person like I upgrade every year? Obviously, as a tech enthusiast, you would be. But if you could remove yourself from that space and be a normal user, would you upgrade every year? Like if you had an iPhone 11 Pro Max, would you go to a 12? Like, would you be that guy? Or like, I think I'd probably just be one of those people like I have a phone, I'm using it for a couple years until it probably fails, breaks, or just the battery goes kaput. And then what do you think does that make sense for people just upgrade every year? Or you're like, I don't know why Apple people do that. It's basically the same OS. It's still running 14.4 or 14.3. You could probably be okay with 11 or even a 10R or 10S, right? But what's your thoughts on like upgrading? Do you do that? Obviously, would you if you weren't a tech enthusiast? If you're just a user, do you think that you would probably not do it as much if you were using Apple stuff?
Honestly, I'm gonna be straight up with you. Like, I like to consider myself like a normal guy. Like, I know some people may see, they see me tech enthusiast, which I am, but I also like to see myself as just a normal tech guy, tech lover guy. But honestly, this is just iPhone 10s Max. Like literally 10s Max. Now I do get the products to get them on the channel because I am interested in the products because I want to see what different innovation, what's something new that they've brought. I told people even with the iPhone 11, when the 11 and 11 Pro came out, I was a big fan of that phone. I love the phone. But I told people, I said, if you have a 10s Max or a 10s or an iPhone 10, I wouldn't necessarily upgrade because literally, if I didn't turn the phone over on its back, I had them both in my hand side by side. And there was times where I was like, I don't know which one I have. I literally had to turn it over on the back. So for me, it was a couple things with that I noticed. I was like, well, that just means the ecosystem it's legit across the board. It's the same. You're going to get the same experience regardless of whichever iPhone device that you have. And majority of the difference is going to come with, maybe little things here and there with camera features and stuff like that. But I tell people straight up, like if you got a phone that you like and it works, it may not be a need to upgrade, but the tech lover, don't get me wrong, I am getting the iPhone 12 Pro, whenever that time comes for me to pick it up. But for me right now, I'm not, necessarily in a hurry to necessarily get it. So, but yeah.
You don't want that mini? No?
The mini is actually dope though. I actually like the mini, man.
It's a cute little thing, isn't it?
It is. And the value when you talk about, talk about bang for your buck, I think that is the biggest bang for your buck because again, you're still getting into the ecosystem, which is kind of going back to like the headphones here for a second. But like you look at all of the products that Apple came out this year, right? They came out with a cheaper version of an iPhone. or cheaper in Apple terms, I should say, cheaper version of the iPhone. They came out with a cheaper Mac computer that you can now get, and then they hit you upside the head with the iPhone. So I mean, not with the iPhone, but with the AirPods Max. And so you look at all of the different moves that they're making to pull people in. It makes sense, and I think the 12 mini I think it's a win. Although I can't get the small phones just because I prefer the bigger phones. I'm a big screen kind of guy. But for value, man, it's a win for sure.
Oh, definitely. The only thing I think people just got to remember is that it's smaller, so the battery is not going to be
absolutely
amazing. But this year they've gone with smaller batteries across the board anyway. So you know, it's going to be one of them.
Of their software too that makes it good.
I think the iPhone 12, the standard iPhone 12, is probably the sweet spot for most people. Like, most people will just look at the 12 and say, "Yep, that's the one I'm going to get."
I just didn't like those colors though. Oh.
Well, my wife had an 8. Well, it's funny because I bought an 8 Plus for me to use, and it was product red, and I used it for a while. And then I was like, I'm just going to go back to Android, and so I gave it to my wife. And at that time, she was using a smaller phone, like I think it was a 6, and the battery was just terrible on it. And because she's always on it, right? I mean, she's driving it, not gaming, but using it, right? So driving the battery, and that's an older phone. So I gave her the 8 Plus, and she used that for a long time. And then we needed to upgrade, and so she got the 12. And so while we're looking at it, she doesn't pay attention. You know, she was like, I always look at the color. I kind of like the 12. I like that blue. I don't know what it is about it. It doesn't really matter because if you're going to have a case, you might have an opaque case, and it's going to obscure it anyway. Right. But I kind of was like, if I were going to take the jump, like having those flat sides, just the way the phone felt, I was like, man, I don't know. I never really considered an iPhone before because of the curved sides. I had the 8, and I'm like, and I've picked up other people's phones, and I'm like, But the 12 was like, I don't know, man. If I were going to go back to the dark side of the force, I think.
Well,
I think that's a good one. The plot.
We're gonna get Sam to come back. That's my goal. That's my goal. 2021.
He's on that Microsoft.
He's like, come home. Just come home.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him home.
We'll have to pry that duo from his dead, cold hands. That's God, he will never go back. But it's interesting how they changed the design just enough to make it different, but still the same. Like the flat sides. Again, the colors. It's a bit weird that some colors aren't available for the other phones, and I think it would have been just easy, just colors. All the phones have got the same colors.
Yeah.
And then just call it that, but it doesn't matter anyway because you're going to buy a skin from channel sponsor, so it's fine.
Right.
And you can get the flat edges, which is great. So it's easier to stick down.
Right. And ER makes a comment about the 12. He thinks the 12. Yeah, he said that he's heard that the iPhone 12 mini is not selling as well as they hoped. I don't have to do with the battery size. I think it's because most people now, like everybody's become accustomed to these bigger phones. A lot of people say, "Oh, I wish they'd get a smaller phone. I'd love to go back to a compact phone." But because you've naturally become accustomed to these bigger phones, when you pick up a phone like the Mini, it's too small.
Yeah.
So I think they listen to people saying they want compact phones, but then the people that wanted compact phones are like, "Nah." It was a good idea, but it's a lot of media, Netflix, everything is on your phone. You a little bit bigger.
Right.
And here's the thing. I think the issue is, I think it's a twofold problem. I think it's one. It's when I was in 8th grade, I played trumpet in our band, and then we didn't have a tuba.
Was trumpet a thing when you were in 8th grade?
Yeah, it was a bugle. Really, it was just
I got in there before a goat horn.
It was like a goat horn. Right. No, but and then we didn't have a. Yeah, we didn't have a bass player. We didn't have a tuba. So what I do is I would be the ones like, I'll go, and we had songs that required it, so I would switch over and I'd play into a tuba. But if you talk about the mouthpiece, right, on a trumpet, it's this big, right, and then the tuba, it covers your whole mouth, and it blows away your embouchure. So what happens is you try to go back and play it. You try to go back and play the trumpet. It was like trying to blow into the head of a needle. You're like, you couldn't do it. And I think when it comes to the iPhones, I think once you get used to using, like, physically, the muscle memory of using it and that screen, it's going back to the small one. It's easier to go up. Like when my wife went to that bigger iPhone, the iPhone 8 Plus, she was like really worried about holding it in two hands and maneuvering it. But then she got used to it. I think it's easier to go up. It's easier to go to a larger phone. I think the muscle memory and the going back to a smaller device, not only for physical use, but also just the screen, I think it's a harder transition going backwards to a small. Even though if you want to, I think you're not willing to give it as much time to get adjusted. Right? If you go back to the upward, it's cool. Yeah,
I've literally just done that though. Like I've literally just done that.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't think a lot of people do.
My Oppo Find X2 Pro met its demise, and I now have a Pixel. It quite literally, boom. But now I've got the P20 Pro and a Pixel 3a, and that's a prime example. My Find X2 Pro is a bigger phone. Loved it, big screen. I thought going to the Pixel 3a or a P20 Pro would be because it's smaller phones than that. It's strange how I've gotten used to using the Pixel as my everyday phone and using the slightly bigger P20 to watch YouTube and stuff like that. It's, obviously, I'm in a unique situation because I'm a nerd and I've got two phones and I can do this, that, and the other. But it is harder to go back to a small screen. Like from experience, I'm looking at it and everything just feels smaller. It's weird. It is really weird because you're looking at your icons and the time and the date, and you're like, "What? How did I used to see this like 10 years ago?"
Right.
But honestly, man, I'm enjoying the size and the fact that I can use it with one hand.
Right.
There's none of this up here shuffling around. It's just hold it in my hand. That's it. Done. So
I commend people, man, that can use the smaller phones, man. I'll be honest. I feel like typing on it is weird. It's just super small.
Swipe type. You learn how to swipe type on a smaller phone.
And here's the thing, and I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's trash at swipe typing. I can't do it. Every time I do it, it'd be a different word that comes up, and I'm like, all right, forget.
I didn't mean to say that. I meant, and then of course you don't read it. You hit send. You're like, oh.
Anybody that I've spoken to recently, anybody that I've texted recently, you may notice that I keep missing the letter N and C out of all my words. So everything is missing an N and a C most of the time because I'm typing too quickly, forgetting I'm on a smaller phone. And I'm like, oh.
But
I'll send it anyway. They'll get it.
Matt just calls me an unt. I'm like, what's an unt? He goes, I was calling you a cunt, you fucking cunt. I was like, oh, I get it now.
Or I could have been punt.
Right, or it could have been punt. Right, or it could have been punt. Right, I don't know what's going on, right? So, and I think the second part, I honestly, I like Apple's strategy of like kind of giving stratification across devices and price points, right? They finally have decided not just to stay on this upper end and making people pay, but getting into a lower price point. I think what kills them is have all the four devices, the mini, the regular, at the same time. I think what happens is the fact that they stagger the releases, people all around and get the iPhone 12.
Yep.
And then literally a month later, like the mini comes out, they go to the store for somebody else and they're like, oh shit, I probably would have got this instead. But they're stuck now.
Yep.
Right. And now they're stuck. I think people would have taken it. I think the iPhone mini sales are hampered by the fact that they stagger the releases. They bring these two out and then these two out.
Yep.
Because if people are going to upgrade or they're going to buy the iPhone, they're going to be in line, which I think is just insane if you ask me, but whatever. I think what happens is I think they get it and they start using the iPhone 12 Pro, and then they see the mini come out and they go, shit, I could have used that, but now what am I going to do? I'm outside the 90-day. I can't return it. It's outside 14 days because I've upgraded on AT&T. Well, now I'm just stuck with it. Right. I think if they would just put them all out, all four at the same time, I think you would see those sales numbers homogenize a bit, and there would be a little bit here and there, but I don't know why they staggered. I guess they don't want to put all those out there. I'm not sure. There's got to be a strategy. I can't imagine they just do it for
I'm sure there's some type of strategy they got with that. But like I agree with you, man. I definitely think the numbers would have been a little bit more level if they did come out with the entire line right at one go. Like even with like I don't know why a lot of companies do that. Like even with the headphones or whatever, they like, all right, here's a product coming out, but we're not releasing this, this accessory to come with it later. So it's like why? It's like why not just drop everything at one go? But yeah, I don't get that either.
So, but yeah, I just
think mostly it's to do with color. Later on, they can release an accessory that's a certain color and then drop also a product in that color.
But honestly,
just to have something in the year.
But honestly, I also think about like the guy he just mentioned in the comment. He said that when you look at the iPhone 12 mini. You also start looking at the SE and you're like, okay, I could literally get the SE for this price versus getting the 12 because again, the experience that you're going to get with using both of them is going to be the same because the iOS is literally the same. And the good thing about Apple is they support a lot of their older phones with updates. So you're pretty much getting the exact same thing, but you already know when it comes to Apple products, man, it's really about status. That's why they make Apple specifically make these small changes. Like even with like the Apple Watch, like they'll make like when they turn the dial red, when they made it red, it was the smallest little thing, but it was literally.
But the dial's red. You're like,
dial's red. You're like, oh, I got the red knob. You're like, all right.
But it does the same thing. Yeah,
all
I
the
know,
non-Apple people are like,
but it doesn't look the same.
it?
And I look better than your shit, so my shit's better than your shit.
You look at people and it's like, you're broke, I'm rich.
You peasant. You're a peasant.
Yours is a gray, mine's red. Go away.
Exactly.
Right.
So Apple is about status, so that's what it is.
Yeah,
well, I want to ask a good question here.
The iPhone SE also has one major advantage in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
It still has Touch ID.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
The biggest problem with the iPhones right now is when you're out, it's PIN only.
Yeah,
because you're in a mask. Yeah. Well, if you're sensible, you're in a mask.
Right.
So.
Right. But Juan makes a comment here. Like, I wonder if older iPhones, I wonder if that's going to hold as people start buying 5G. Because remember, all the older iPhones aren't going to have it. So, like, remember, it was easier to get like an iPhone. You can get an iPhone 10, right? Because it's okay. It's the same thing. But really, if you're in an area and you start living that 5G life, right? You start really deploying it. You're starting to use it. Now you got to go, okay, now an older iPhone means I'm going back to a 4G LTE speed.
Yep.
And I'm not used to that, or I don't want that. Now, does that make that going back to an older used device or a secondhand device, does that make that a little bit more of a barrier to entry to go backwards now? Because now,
good question. That's a good.
Yeah,
point.
I'm glad that I'm glad Juan brought it up, because I would have conceptualized it that way. You know, what the different reasons for people getting brand new phones or staying with what they have or upgrading. It's interesting to see that. I would have thought, and as a guest, I would have thought you were like, yeah, I'm getting an iPhone 12 and then I'm going to get the 13. I'm going to go, because I love tech, and but not just review, because as your daily use, like,
yeah. Oh, I'm getting the 12. I'm getting the 12 Pro. No question. I was going to get the Max, but then I was like, the Max is just too big. Like, I was just like,
right.
The 12 Pro is like perfect for me. Like, I'm like, I don't need the 12 Pro Max. I was like, I'm good.
You don't need a tablet.
What about all those camera features that you get extra?
Here's the thing. Like, I can granted, my iPhone XS Max is not the same camera quality as the 12 or 12 Pro or anything like that, but my 12 Pro can shoot, at least for what I would need it for, it would shoot perfect for what you know what I mean?
Exactly, which is exactly why most people would go for that.
Yeah. I mean, like, unless you're just one of those just crazy
nerds,
cinematography nerds, then you got to have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it's like, all right. But I think for the average person, man, the Mini as well as the 12 Pro, you're good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people looking for iPhones this year. I'm guessing a lot of them are looking at the 11s, not even looking at the 12s. They'll be looking at the 11s because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
So
Bose sleeping buds.
It's one of them.
What's a Bose sleeping bud? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they're sleep buds. I think John Rettinger uses them. He has mentioned them quite a few times on his channel. It's people who struggle with sleep and stuff like that.
So does it play like ambient noise? Is that what it does? Like,
I would assume it's kind of like, I guess, like the Jabras have that
oh yeah, that feature where you can play like, okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I never. Well, I know Bose are really nice. I know, again, that's expensive. But here's the thing with Bose, it seems like is, I think if you're spending a little bit more money on Bose, it used to be, I don't know if it's still the case, but you knew you were getting, like I've used a pair of QC10s, right? I was like, wow, these are like, whoa. I mean, like the difference is noticeable, at least when I would use them. But I have a pair of Jabra 75Ts, and I love those.
I love those.
I love those things. Yep. And I had a pair of I call them the spoons, because that's what the model number looks like. And it was actually suggested by El Jefe, because I was looking for, like, I'm looking for like $100, 120. He's like, hey, here's the Sonys, right? These wireless, the spoons. I love El Jefe. I think he's spot on. I couldn't stand it.
My guy.
They drove me nuts. Well, first of all, the two things that drove me nuts, I don't think they sounded that great. And the second thing is, you can't sleep on them. Like, when I would lay over, it would dig right. I mean, like right into my eardrum, almost felt like. So, so I got a pair of the 75 Ts. I like the 65 Ts I have, but they finally croaked. And now they got ANC on them, because Jabra said, you're just going to give the 75 Ts ANC too. I was like, well, then I'm going to get those instead, because the other ones were like $220.
Yep.
I think the Jabra sound profile, Jabras in general, those ones I've had, the 65 and 75 Ts, I think they're the best sounding headphones I've used. I mean, even almost as good as my my KZs. I mean, they really sound bass, especially you mentioned in your video, but their bass is like, dude, it's like,
this is why
my skull rattle.
Yeah, this is why I like my XM3s. I love my XM3s because they're just so good.
Yep.
And I've not even spent that much money on them. So,
but I'm gonna tell you one that I like, man. That I think it's a sleeper, and I did a video I did a couple videos talking about it, and it's my favorite, man. It's my favorite pair of earbuds this year, man. And that's the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2 earbuds. Them things are fire, man. Man, if you get a chance to test them out, I'm telling you, them things will check. They dope. They definitely fire.
Well, once my XM3s die, I think I might try.
They're expensive.
Well, I'll take that recommendation.
They're they're expensive.
Yeah, well, anything with and Sennheiser generally, they're usually not. That's not a brand. What I think Sennheiser, I don't think not affordable in the point of I know they're.
You'd be surprised though.
Yeah.
The my gaming headset for the PS5 is and the PS4 obviously is Sennheiser. It's the GSP 300s, I think I've got. Absolutely brilliant. And they cost me what, 80 quid, 89 quid? Currently on offer for 59.
Wow.
So if you're looking for a gaming headset, I do recommend them because they are really good.
Okay, I'll have to check those out.
I'm basic. I'm a basic bitch. I just use these statuses for everything. Literally, this is what I do. This is what I use for this show. It's what I use for when I play PlayStation. I listen to music on them. I mean, that's all. I only have one. This is my only over-the-ear headphones. The Jabras, and then I have a pair of KZ, the KZ ES4s that Juan suggested, and those are by far. For $20, it's almost comical how good they are. It's like. I told him I had a little buddy at work. You know, he was like, he always sees me coming into work when we used to go into work, and he was like,
"What's that? What was that like?"
No, I don't remember. I mean, it's actually kind of. I used to hate working from home. I dreaded it. I would have to work from home once a month. And I used to just hate it. Really? And then when we went back in March, we were like, okay, everybody, we're doing this thing, right? And I was like, okay, cool. And so, first couple of weeks, I'm like, this sucks, man. I hate it because my workflow is just all messed up, and I can't. And here's the thing: I'm not an email person, and I don't like. It's like if I've got a problem, it's easier just to sit down, call this dude on the phone, go, hey, here's the problem. Let's talk it out, right? I'm not used to Teams meetings and workflows and emails, and it drove me crazy. Now I don't know, man. I don't know if I can go back to trying it 5 days a week because
I wish I could work from home. That'd be lovely.
Well, yeah, but here's for instance, I have to work Christmas Eve. Well, I'm not too stressed out about it because I'm home. I don't have to drive. And for me, for him and you walk to work. He probably lives pretty close to where I'm 55 minutes away. I'm all the way in. Now, granted, if he's from St. Louis,
10 minutes done.
If you're driving the double nickel and once you get past Lindbergh, it's like the Autobahn. If you're going to Arnold, you can go 70. I tell people, they're like, I live 47 miles away from where I work to where I live. And they're like, well, I should take you an hour and a half.
You live about 40 miles away from everything.
And they're like, no, yeah, I do. And then they're like, oh, it takes 55 minutes. They're like, how the hell can you get home? I said, well, because when I get to a certain part in St. Louis, there's literally no traffic. Even at 5 o'clock, 55 at Arnold is right there in Lindbergh. It's literally 6 lanes wide.
Yep.
It's like a super highway. And they're like, what? I go, yeah, it doesn't even get restricted in Williams.
6 lanes.
It's 6 lanes.
Yep.
Wow. Right when 270, he knows this. When 270 and 55 merge, right, and it goes to 250, it's literally that interchange and it's literally from that interchange probably to the Merrimack Bridge, right at Merrimack Bottom Road. It's literally 6 lanes wide.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so you can get there unless there's a wreck. You're golden, man. You can hit 70 and put the cruise control, and then when you come into Jefferson County, there's nobody, right? There's no cops or nothing. 21, you can go 90 miles an hour. They're like, I don't care.
I am really looking forward to coming to see you.
Yeah,
eventually,
it'll be a good time
when the world's put itself back together.
Right. Hey, Troy's in the house. Hey guys. Hey, Troy's finally here. I know. I appreciate it. Welcome in, sir. So, so obviously COVID threw a wrench into a lot of people's plans. So let's say we're back.
You said the word.
I don't give a shit. We're not monetized.
It's the YouTube naughty word. You can't say no.
That's the beauty about being us, right? We're not trying to leverage this into anything because we're like, I don't care, so I just let it rip. Right?
We made it 54 minutes without saying it.
No, I know. But I realized that probably through a lot of your plans that, out of change and out of focus and kind of threw them into a little bit of a disarray. But my question would be what would, if 2021, if you could tell me what's going to be at this time next year, where do you think the channel, your brand, what are you looking to do? Without, I don't want to give away any spoilers, right? If you're working on projects, obviously we're going to keep those things quiet under wraps. Yeah. But what do you foresee? If all things go well, all goals met, all cylinders firing, what does CKID's channel look like in 2021 at the end of it?
I think for me, one of my main goals is in 2021, man. I in my mind, based on my strategy that I have going forward, that I'm kind of planning out and working with for next year. I know for a fact my goal is to hit 100K subs complete. That's one of I want to grow my following. I also want to grow my relationships with companies that I may have worked with, creators that I want to work with. I also want to do a lot more collabs. So in 2021, I definitely think my channel, you will see more collabs with a bunch of other different creators and different things like that, because I really want to start inviting more people onto the channel versus it being, because one thing about being a creator that a lot of people don't know is it's a lonely job. It's you're literally, right. You're talking to, it may seem like in camera, based on, how good and how, how well you are to be able to talk in front of a camera, but it's more of you're literally just sitting there and you're talking to nobody. So it's it's a very lonely job. But so I want to be able to bring a lot more people onto the channel. Hopefully, things can get back to some level of normalcy to where I can start traveling again. Because I felt like I started traveling started late 2019, a little early in 2020, a little early in 2020. But I want to actually start, when I'm doing those travels, I want to start doing more vlog content.
Right.
It's going to incorporate different things, different topics and different things I want to start talking about that may be outside of tech. But I want to show more of my creative side than just necessarily talking about tech products, because when I tell you, man, I have so many crazy creative ideas in this head of mine. Sometimes I literally can't sleep because things are just going. Going on in my head. So I think for 2021, man, definitely more collabs. My goal of hitting 100K, I definitely want that to happen. I'm gonna be working like crazy to get it. Every year I try to hit about 100. I try to hit 100 videos a year. This year I hit about 120, so I definitely reached my goal. But I want it to be more like 200 next year. I want to pump out as much content as I possibly can. But yeah, that's what 2021 looks like.
Well, it looks like we drove some traffic to your channel. We got Scrappy Coco.
Hey,
yes, we got one.
We got you one.
Welcome to the squad, man. Appreciate it.
It just made this entire hour worth it. Great.
and I hope this doesn't. This is gonna what?
So I was just gonna say we will always do what we can. We share and retweet. And
I appreciate that.
Post the videos to Juan's Reddit r/Glowing Rectangles. Check it out. But because that's how everybody supports each other. You share, you retweet, you post things here, post things there, and then hopefully it gets caught and then takes off. So yeah, sharing and retweeting is the most important thing for any creator that you follow.
Absolutely.
Just get involved and
always get on Twitter, man. Twitter is one of the most I can't tell you the amount of opportunities that I've gotten just because of Twitter. Twitter has been a massive it's been a massive tool for me to be able to connect with a bunch of different people that I've been able to interact with and be able to travel with and different things like that. I owe a lot of my current success to Twitter for sure.
Twitter is a good place to push and
absolutely
go, and like you say, read that retweet button, because you retweet that, then people who follow that person can also see it, even if they don't follow you. So then it sort of gains some traction and stuff like that. And I'm just saying it again, that Juan's Reddit is a really, really good place. When people can post a video of yours that can be voted up, and then gets shared to our Android and things like that. It's just good to have these places to go.
Yeah. And I think speaking of that is like, oh, sorry. I think like speaking of that is another thing that people will see as well. They will see content that I plan on going on TikTok as well. So
I knew it. Yeah, which is cool. I was gonna say, were you thinking about leveraging TikTok? Because it's like
that's it. I'm done. I'm going.
Yeah, I definitely plan on leveraging TikTok, man. I at first, I'll be honest, man, I was that person where I was like, TikTok's not for me. This is for the kids. Like this is, a bunch of dance moves. But I definitely think it is a platform where you can really expand your brand. And so for me, it's like I can reach a whole group of people that are daily users on this platform. So but I also got another secret thing. I'm gonna hold off on talking about it.
Let's not open up all the goodie bag, right? We got to keep some little goodies back in the bag.
Let's not spill the celebrations all over the floor.
Yeah, if people follow me on Twitter and IG, they will. It will be announced there for sure. If all goes well. But yeah,
perfect.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah,
the DT has posted the link.
Oh, the link down there. But also Simon has a channel too, and he does it's really actually I like Simon's channel.
I love Simon's channel. It's so chill.
Right now. Let me grab that.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, it's really good. Simon does a really good job. I love his content. And I'm gonna put this out there, and I hope this doesn't sound. I'm trying to do it. It's actually, I was watching your video, and I don't know what it is about YouTube, and I don't know if you're in control of this or I don't know what it is, but it seemed like every 3 minutes it would go to a commercial. And what was funny was normally I don't really care because I'm not really paying it. Like I was your Jabra video when you're doing the Jabras and the actives. I was like really listening, and it was like every 3 minutes, like fuck, God, this is stupid, right?
Because YouTube Premium, man.
And that's what
I got a free Stadia out of it because of that.
So I don't really know it. I don't really know should having this on purpose, but literally halfway through that video, I was like, I that's it. I'm fucking done. Fuck it. I paused this video. I literally went up to the thing, YouTube Premium. I'm like, your video drove me to it finally broke. Whatever.
It changes your life.
I was holding on for dear life. I'm like a clinger, right? Like, I'm not doing it. Fuck YouTube. You're not getting any of my money. And then finally,
it's amazing how
I
much
watched
it changes
his videos, and I was like so into him. I'm like listening, going, yeah. Because here's the thing, and this is what was cool. So I was playing a game on my computer, right? And I had this intent mode, right? So I could sit it on the couch end. So I was watching your videos, but I had to reach over and hit skip ad. So I'm watching it, and then I was playing a game, but I was still listening to it. And I swear to God, every fucking 3 minutes was like, you'll sleep with this on YouTube. I'm like, oh shit. And then I get to the next video, which was one about the Pro Max, right? I'm listening to him, same thing. I'm like, now this dude did this on purpose. Kudos on you, because I'm going to spend some money on this. YouTube ought to kick him a couple bucks. This guy's because it was such good content, but also it was like every minute, like right when I was like, it was like I gotta wait, and then I gotta reach over and I gotta hit the DM, skip ads, and I was like, fuck it. So I went to YouTube Premium. So
it's worse when it's 2 ads. You have to sit through 2 ads, one after the other.
Yeah. No, luckily it let me get the first one, but it seemed like, and I don't know much about it because I'm not a YouTube creator, but it's funny because seemed like I don't remember as many video ads being in other videos. I don't know why that is, but it was like this dude, man. His content's good, and he's got a fucking commercial every 3.5 seconds. So I'm tired of I want to get to the rest of this. So literally mid video, about halfway through, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So congratulations, you broke me.
I honestly, man, I let YouTube handle all of that, man. Hey, YouTube, do what you. Put the ad where you need to put it. I like to more so, me personally, I like to more so focus on the content. Like I don't like to handle all the back end logistics. So I know that's part of it. Like you have to look at your analytics and all that. But for me, one of my goals going forward, man, I literally just, hey, YouTube, here, press the button, YouTube place it where you need to place it, whatever. And then I just go focus on and create content, man. That's literally that's what drives me. Is when I can get another video out for people to see. So, but yeah. Hey, I'm happy.
Yeah, it is that I got a 7-day free trial with YouTube Premium. And I swear to God, I couldn't go back. I was like, wow, this is what it's like on the other side.
And it's even more premium.
I've never been back since.
It's even more premium if you're on an iPhone because now you can get it playing in the background if you YouTube Premium. So versus if you're not, then you don't get it playing in the background. You can't go through another app. So, but yeah.
But it's interesting that you mentioned TikTok because I don't. I have a TikTok because what is my daughters and my wife like
Wait, what?
Like in. Well, I have a TikTok. I don't do
anything.
Oh,
hang on a fucking minute.
Sam's on there dancing.
You fucking what?
No, right, I purposely don't.
You're out.
Yeah. Well, and here's the reason why is because literally my daughters and my wife will like have these little videos. My wife will see something that's like either something that's a cooking thing or something about the dog or something that's, like, hey, you need to watch this. And she'll send me the link. And so it just links to it. I didn't post anything on it. I have to have it because my daughters, like my daughter Anna, literally like 4 times a day would be like, hey, Dad, watch this cat video. Hey, what? And I'm like, these aren't funny. Like, none of these are funny. None of this shit is like funny. They're like, ha, do you think this is good? I go, no, this is terrible. But I'm thinking, if this is getting 37, 45, 80,000 like views, likes, whatever, I'm thinking, I know we suck at this. Like, this isn't like we're not professionals at all here. I'm thinking, Matt, if we had our own TikTok, we could at least get 1,000 views. Some of this shit is so awful. I'm like, if this is supposed to be funny,
right?
I know funny, and this
right
ain't
now,
it.
What I would rather do than have a TikTok.
I want to see Sam and Matt is going to be dancing on TikTok in 2021,
right.
guys.
We're going to be doing duets to each other. Right. He's going to be like, you're just a fucking cunt. That's going to be the whole duet. He's like, you're a twat.
Sam, if you floss on TikTok, we're over.
Okay, we're done. We're going to do a dance off. Right, absolutely.
If we leverage this show on TikTok, how many people would follow us there? No one.
TikTok is crazy, man.
Like, who the fuck invited these two onto this platform?
Dude, have you watched some of that stuff? It's like, it's cringy. Like some of the stuff you're like, it's almost cringy to the point of like the people on that the singing show, America's Got Talent or whatever, or those like the singing show, whatever. Like, I don't fucking pay attention to that stuff, but it's like the first episodes where it's like people who clearly cannot sing, and they're not like somebody didn't tell you, oh honey, you just go live your dream. You're like, no, somebody's like no human being. Like if I try to go on that show, like American the Voice, dude, it's like no. But some of that stuff on TikTok, man, I see a lot of traction against, and it's terrible. It's like not funny. It's not creative. It's like a meme. Like somebody will say something like the one that I keep seeing is when I scroll through not the For You page. It's it's like I'm doing some hot girl shit. It's like every fucking video is just they're not even talking. It's literally you just lip syncing.
Do you know how old you sound right now? God, back in my day, they would never have done this.
No, I will tell you the funny thing though is, this is my point to all that is, some of the stuff is not funny. My daughters think it's funny. It's almost like the bar for comedy. No, the bar for comedy is so far down now. It's like
some of it's funny.
No, I agree. I've
seen some shit like they clip it and then share it to Twitter and stuff like that.
So here's the thing. Right. And so this is my point. So like I made my wife watch Blazing Saddles. And if you don't know what movie that is, it's funny is if you try to watch that movie now, it would in a movie theater, it would literally get banned in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But the reason why is because you're listening to the dialogue, but you're not listening to the context of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's lost. If you get to the movie and you can get past because they use a lot of stuff that nowadays, like All in the Family, right? Stuff that's cringeworthy. Right. Richard Pryor is the same way. If you understand the context of the joke, that's why comedians don't do jokes anymore. That's why you're losing that. So Mel Brooks movies,
it's the world's PC squad that's causing all these problems.
I guess, but I mean, it's just a natural evolution of just anything, right? And so the problem is
everything offends everybody nowadays. So
no, not me.
Nothing literally everything offends. I'm literally unoffended. Like you can't even wear socks and somebody's offended. Like
I don't even wear socks.
You know what I mean, though? Like you just walk outside and it's like, oh, you can't walk outside. I'm offended by that.
So I mean, my daughter thinks it's funny because she's 19. But then I see like here, I'll give you a perfect example. So in the movie History of the World Part 1, it's another Mel Brooks movie from the 80s. There's a scene where a blind guy is walking and he's hitting his head on these like flagpoles. And he's saying, give to Oedipus, dink. And he hits his head on the pole, right? He's a blind guy. Give to Oedipus, dink. And he hits his head on the pole. From behind him, Gregory Hines is the character. Josephus walks up behind him. Now, if this guy was truly blind, he wouldn't know he was behind him. So he comes up and goes, hey, Josephus, hey, motherfucker, right? And it's funny because I saw that when I was a young person. I didn't get the joke, but it's a twofold joke. First of all, it's jive. And if anybody knows anything about older 80s stuff, Jai was like, hey, motherfucker, show me some skin. Like, it's Jai. That's how black folks talk back then. Mm-hmm. And it was big in the movies. And so, but the thing is, if you really pay attention to the subtlety of that scene, is the blind guy's name is Oedipus. The car, when he gave him hey, give me some skin, right? He called him a motherfucker. Does anybody know who Oedipus is? Do you know what an edible complex is?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I have zero idea what's going on.
I'm about to Google it right now.
It's funny is if you look up an Oedipus complex or Oedipus. Oedipus is the Greek story about the boy who had a sexual attraction to his mother.
Google.
Yeah. He kills his dad and marries his mom because he's into his mother sexually.
Wait, what kind of things do you watch, man?
This is when I was. This is a movie when it was like in the 80s, right?
TikTok's took a whole other turn now. Fuck that.
No, but what I'm saying is, there's it's in the DVM5. It's literally a thing called an Oedipus complex. It's where any son or any male having a sexual attraction to his mother, and it's a diagnosable psychological condition.
Wow.
The guy called him a motherfucker. It's such a subtle joke, and you don't even get it. It's like
how did our
later.
Show get here? I don't
I'm just
understand
saying,
what is
we're talking about the fact that TikTok isn't funny, and a lot of people think it's funny.
Yeah, how the hell did we go from TikTok being funny to you're sleeping with your mom?
Right. What I'm telling you is
such a turn.
Because you got to open your mind. You got to open your mind a little bit. You have to understand is on TikTok, the point is that's a platform where you really don't have to have a lot of talent or skill, and you could just throw a bunch of content out there, and it gets traction like this. I've seen some stuff; it's terrible. It's like, so I can't believe you're not already on it. Him, especially if you're joining a channel. That's
See, TikTok willed me in this year, right? So I literally, it was when I had the iPhone 12. We was talking about that, right? And I had the MagSafe charger. I actually still have the MagSafe charger, but I was using it, and I was like, I literally just did a video filming me using the MagSafe charger and putting my phone down on it. And then I had my phone say you can have it pretty much say anything you want. And I just had mine saying like your phone is charging or something like that once you charge it up. So I literally it was like probably all of 10 seconds. That video had 100 and it's like at 150,000 views right now. And it was literally
what?
It was my first TikTok video, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't nobody even know me on here. So how did I get but yeah.
Well, it's just because it shows up and then you like it, and then as it gets more likes, it just starts to come up on For You pages more often. And it's just like,
but what
it's
do
nuts.
views mean on TikTok compared to
they're likes.
Another platform?
Well, I will tell you,
I don't understand TikTok I am proper like somebody's granddad when it comes to social media. TikTok, no, I've never, ever downloaded, opened, been in the app. No clue.
No, I think what it is because it's almost got like a Vine thing to it, 6 seconds, and you can it's easily consumable content that's super customized to you. Like the algorithms are so aggressive as far as what you're liking. Like once you start liking stuff, get ready because the algorithm starts to see it and it keeps
I understand
feeding
that.
it. Right. It's just like
I meant for the
nuts.
creator. What benefit are the views and stuff for the creator as opposed to views on YouTube and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, look at Mr. Hamilton. That should tell you, right? Do yourself a favor. Look up that guy on TikTok. I know you don't know him because he's a TikTok thing. But dude, watch that guy. He's really good.
And this is Mr. I only downloaded it because my daughter's. He's there. He's on it. Look at him. He's talking about all this stuff.
I tell you, I don't create stuff on my channel. Like it's got zero video. If you look it up, there's no content on it. But I'm telling you, I sat there.
Please, for the love of everyone in this chat, make a video.
No,
I think everybody here right now, make a video.
Do it.
Yeah, so I'm interested like Devin. I'm like I said, I just cannot even think like when he sees it. Like if you actually get on there and use it and you watch them, you're going to be like, now I can get why this would drive because it drives visibility. It really isn't about content. It's about if 150,000 people saw. How much would it take for us to drive 150,000 views, likes, listens, right? It would take an amount of energy, right? But literally on TikTok, you can put out content that's marginally decent.
Listen to us.
I think one of the biggest things
the barrier for entry is so low, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things with TikTok
should be all right then.
that I've kind of studied because I've kind of been studying the platform. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed about the platform is simply it's the rawness of it. I think that's what people enjoy the most. They enjoy the fact that anybody can just pick up this thing right here and just shoot whatever. And especially now that we're kind of disconnected from people because now we're all having to be at home, the fact that we have a platform where we can see how raw people are actually living, like funny videos of people only having a shirt on up top with no pants on, but they're on a Zoom call meeting, like funny videos like that, because those videos are raw, but yet they're also relatable to certain people who understand rolling out of bed.
What do you think's happening right now?
or if you're a dog, right? Your dog was right, or
just this hoodie. That's it.
It's all about the
But yeah, you're right, and exactly. And he's right, because you can pick it up literally. You could be sitting in your couch and something's happening like in your living room real time, and literally you just go boom, boom, get in and watch it. And even if it's 10 seconds of utter fuckery. That's not script. It's like, but everybody's like, yeah, I remember when I fell down the fucking stairs. This shit was dope. That's fire, right? And they think it's funny, so they like it. And the problem is then it becomes more algorithmic, and then it gets into feeds, and then everybody, you're right, it's relatable and it's raw. You literally need a phone. Some of the stuff on here you watch is literally so awful. It's like, if anybody's telling you this is really worth watching, it's really not. It's the most awful shit ever. No. But it's almost bad. It's good.
Simon. only Sam's on TikTok.
Well, then I think DT wanted me to put on a bikini.
Sorry, that killed me.
I don't know if that's really the look we're going for, but can you have negative views on? Can you have negative subscribers on TikTok?
If that's
I think that
the kind of TikTok you're doing, I do not want to be involved.
Well, you know what? You're just being a hater right now. You're just being a hater.
Hey, but
you don't want to see me in my mankini. I'm just saying.
TikTok, no, I'm just saying, but
it will keep you there for hours.
And I think that's what Devin. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't happened, but it's interesting to hear because we haven't really talked about that as far as like people who were thinking about it as a way to get in. If you talk to somebody listen to somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, he talks about these kind of things. It's about just put content out there, even if it's. The market will tell you if it's consumable. It will tell you if it's worth it, right? But and TikTok, just the rawness and the accessibility and the fact that it literally can be broadcast. Because here's the thing: there's millions of people literally just scroll, and usually a lot of people don't watch the entirety of that whole minute, right? You get a whole minute, you're like, no, oh, okay, no. You scroll maybe through 5 or 6 pieces of content before you get to something, and it watches that. It sees how you engage to it, and then it starts to feed your algorithm. It's really, it's kind of crazy. It's really kind of
aggressive algorithm.
People reaching millions and millions and millions and millions of subscribers on TikTok just by doing random stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's what
I can understand. It's like I make jokes and stuff, but I can understand from a creator's point of view to expand your business and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You go where the people are, and at the minute, TikTok is where all the people are.
Yeah. Right. And I think for somebody like Devin, it gives you kind of a balance point, right? It gives you structured, clean, B-roll, professional content. And then it gives people more of a window into Devin, like, hey, I'm sitting here at the coffee shop and here's this dude walking by and like, and he's got his phone, he drops it, boom, and it shatters. You're like, oh shit, right?
If only someone had got a video of me doing that.
I guarantee if we had posted that, I guarantee because there's millions of people who had that, especially your reaction to that fail. Like once it hit the ground and shattered, like the debilitatingly awful feeling that's going to come over your
inside.
Body. Right. I lost my life. It literally died. A piece of me died. It's never coming back. But I mean, if that 30 seconds were captured on TikTok, I guarantee it's going to have hundreds of thousands of views because everybody's done that. People drop their phones and shatter them and go, oh shit, did that just happen? And pick it up and go, that this thing isn't just like, it like literally exploded.
In that point, at least I would have got something out of it, I suppose.
Right.
And plus, people like destruction, so it definitely would have got a look.
And Can you just do that again?
Yeah, but I think, but there's also too, like, I see a lot of TikToks where people give like inspirational stuff, or they're talking about something that's happened in your life, or they're like this one girl I watched. It was kind of funny because she said like terrible things my exes did, and these stories are like, holy shit, and they're terrible. I mean, this poor woman, if she's making them up, they're fantastic. But even if they're real, it's shocking. And then Jim makes a comment here. There are a lot of groups of people with specific mentals that can relate. Like if you see somebody's got an anxiety issue, or like if they're videoing, like they're trying to walk into a shop and they're having some kind of anxiety attack, or they're weird about space, right? If they're trying to work through that, there are people that can relate to that. And you get not only the silly interactions, but also real traction from people who are like looking for quick little 1-minute videos on how to cook. Like Uncle Roger, that shit's awesome. Oh, you went to cook the rice, you fucked up. It's like, it's so funny, man.
If you can learn how to cook in 1 minute, I am not eating your food.
No, I'm saying, but you're not getting it. Go watch TikTok and quit being such a stick in the mud. That's what I'm saying. If I'm 45 and I'm an old fuck like I am, which I know, I'm like, fuck that. These fucking kids, these whippersnappers and TikToks and face grams and Insta snaps, fuck all these kids, right? I'm serious. I think if you're a creator,
that sounds just like you.
One of my favorite TikTok, I'm not even gonna lie, is Gordon Ramsay's TikTok. I don't know if you watch them, but they are.
Oh yeah, the guy who did the butter on the steak. He fucking he wanted to, if he could have punched this guy in the face over TikTok, he would have. It was awesome.
I just like the accent. How he is just like, what are you doing, big boy? All right, let's go. Like his TikToks is good. I'm not even gonna lie.
See, Matt can go to his restaurants, right? The Subway. You can go to it. Where's the?
Go to his restaurants. Yep.
I can't afford it. That stuff.
I don't have a spare mortgage.
Yeah. That's like, I got like 9 pints of blood. I think you get probably 3 out of my head. How much is that going to be worth? It's going to be worth an appetizer.
It's not that. I don't have a thing against like it's the food. Obviously, is amazing. My thing is proportion. I like paying for my food, not paying for this little tiny thing which has been presented, and I've eaten 1 gulp, and now I'm £530 lighter than I was. No, I'm going to spend £13 in a carvery and get a massive plate of food. That's what I'm going to do.
Is that like a butcher shop? A carvery?
No, it's. I'm not even going to try and explain it.
Oh my god! So, but yeah, I think that's interesting that we haven't had anybody really discuss like getting into leveraging TikTok and really taking time to look at it and like see like how can I make this work for me? Mm-hmm. And it's just another. It's like Twitter, right? You made a comment that Twitter makes it accessible. I can reach out. Like I saw him on a Hello Hefe's video and he was in the chat. And I go, I think this guy's pretty cool. Like I was like, I'm going to go watch this video. So I started watching this video. I go, I'd love to have this guy on the show. I think this guy's dialed in. I want to listen to what this guy has to say. So I just said, fuck it. He doesn't know who I am. And we're like, it's not like Marquez called him or Joe Rogan. It's like, here's a small little show.
Who are they?
With a little following. I don't know. Fuck those guys. No, I'm just saying. But I reached out to him and it's just said, hey, I just reached out to say, hey, would you be interested in coming on our show? And he was like, yeah, sure. I was like,
well, Marquez is never going to come on now, is he? Look what you just said.
No, I'm just kidding. I really respect him. Like, he had Barack Obama on. I mean,
yeah, he's the GOAT.
Here's how you know you've ascended to like great things.
Like Will Smith was what got it for me.
Oh no!
When he interviewed Will Smith, I was like,
yeah. When I saw Obama, I was like,
yeah, that's
what the fuck? Dude's like, nope.
So he's done quite a lot. This is like Bill Gates, Will Smith, Obama.
Yeah, well, I understand. Well, Bill Gates is
that guy who owns Tesla.
Right. Yeah, Bill. These are tech guys, but to have a former president on your show,
I'd love to watch him interview Donald Trump. I don't know why.
When you look at it, here's the deal. When you look at that, I'm saying, but I mean, to me, when I saw that he interviewed Barack Obama, I was like,
I know it's Elon Musk, fucking guys. I was joking.
Yeah,
that literally transcends like tech because I'm sure Barack Obama.
Marquez, you have to respect him.
Yeah,
you have to respect what he's done and how he's done it.
And he's professional. And for if you're a content creator or a burgeoning content creator, you may not want to agree with it, but he kicked the door wide open for making.
Look at his videos 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
a kid in his bedroom
on mainstream. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast and he's talking to the president. You're not just a tech guy anymore. You're now transcending past all that.
Yeah,
I would like to.
I think Obama would have a hell of a time.
I tell people all the time, man, like Marquez is definitely one of those guys. He's the reason why like I'm in this space now. Like, and even if you look at it like just opportunities that I've been able to have, like it's literally because of that guy. And just like Scrappy said, he definitely interviewed Kobe. Like yeah, Marquez, man, he's the GOAT, man. He's definitely on my list of people that when I talked about collabs, he's definitely one of those people that I want to collab with. Obviously, I just got to figure out, something that's going to make, sense, as well as something that's going to offer value to him. Because I don't never like collabing with people if I'm not offering value to them. So it's like, for me, it's like, I got to figure out a way, how am I going to offer value to him and his audience? And, as well as some other creators like Jutton and different things like that. So I have a list of people that I definitely want to, collab with, and Marquez is high on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I'm just being flip. I would love to actually have a chance to talk to him for even if I can get him on the show for 15, 20 minutes of his time. I realize that he doesn't have a lot of bandwidth with everything that's going on, but it's just
that's
no
what I mean.
denying that
he's one of them people whether you love his content or hate his content, you've got to respect how he got to where he is.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's just the growth. Like I said, you look 10 years ago, a kid in his bedroom, and now, like that growth didn't just happen overnight. It's taken a lot of long time, hard work. So
I love the DT, but this is absolutely not going to happen anytime in my absolute lifetime. It'd be great if he called me and goes, "Hey, Sam, I'd like to have you on my show." Yeah. Well, let me see if I can squeeze you in between Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Obama. I'm sure I'm not on his radar, but it's nice. I love you, though. But I mean, that's it. But Twitter allowed us right now to have this conversation on the show. And it gives us a chance to talk to people that we follow, that we like, that we enjoy, but also we want to talk more about, because it's free form. Because like I said, I told you before the show started, I like to structure the show as like, if I ran into Devin downtown St. Louis, if I was at a coffee shop and I recognized him, I said, and we probably will, because but I could reach out and say, "Hey man, just talk to you. Hey, I saw your video about the headphones, man. You actually helped me. Like, I was going to get the 85 Ts, but now I got the 75 Ts, and here's why." And it costs him nothing, and it costs me nothing, but it saved me $50 or $30, or I can relate. Just it gives me something as an outlet. Like, my wife makes fun of me because I don't have a lot of outlets to talk about these things. But in my social circle, a lot of my friends are just, they use phones. They come to me like Devin. They came to him. Hey, I don't know what phone to buy. I'm looking to do this. What phone should I get? And I help him get his wife and him new phones and stuff. So the fact that it gives me also an outlet where I can actually listen to something and go, yeah, or hear something that I hear, like he says, and I go, yeah, I don't agree with him here. I want to challenge that. Here's my experience with that, where it may not align with what his experience is, and have a debate and an engaged conversation. And maybe I might be able to tell him something. He might go, wow, I really didn't think about it in that aspect. Let's have a discussion about that, and let's have a good tech debate about those features, or something like, I didn't see that. And maybe in his next video, he goes, hey, I was talking to some dude online, and he shows on his iPad, he shows the comment and goes, hey, this guy brought up a comment on something it opened my mind to a possibility that I hadn't considered. And that's the whole reason we do this, right? Is to expose ourselves to other views, other content, other opinions. That's what I do.
Whoa. After the conversation we were just having a minute ago, that was a poor choice of words.
Okay.
Well, all right.
I'm just going to say this right now. I may just completely just disappear in a minute. I am on 2% battery. I'm surprised I made it this far.
Well, the funny thing is, we're actually right at the time where we usually start to wrap these things up. So I'm
P20 Pro, which was on 53% when we started, has made it an hour and a half on a live stream.
That's not
streaming.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's like a 3-year-old phone.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
not bad.
So we always like to, and obviously we'll reach out. We have show notes, and I'll make sure I put all your Instagram and contacts and Twitter and anything else you want to, if you have a website, anything that you can drive, anything we can do to drive some traffic your way. But here's the thing: if anybody's listening to the show either during the live stream, which we always appreciate everybody on the live stream coming in, you listen to the show offline on the Spotify's, the Googles, the Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Do yourself a favor, if you're into audio or just want some really good commentary. Also, the raps and the beats at the beginnings are so awesome. It's like, I thought it was like, I didn't know if it was like a shtick. It's like, is this one video? Like, is that the one where you had the beat, the max is that little bit? I was like, he probably came up with this on his own. This is almost worth watching 35 seconds of this, or a minute. That was almost worth it right there. And just then you get into the content. But if you aren't following Devin's channel, please do us a favor. Please do us a favor. Go on there, follow him on any socials. And if he gets a TikTok, you can go there and check out his content, because I'm really interested to see how that's going to look. So we will absolutely make sure we drive as much traffic exposure and to your channel, because it's really well done. Like I said, the videos are a little longer than like the 6 and 7 minute ones, but I was hooked. Like your Jobber one, I was like, I already own them. So it wasn't like I already wasn't going to buy them. I already had them. Just to listen to how you thought about it, it was really awesome. do us a favor. Go check them out if you haven't. And if tell everybody about it, do that as well.
Appreciate that.
So, and also, Matt, show me the extreme skin for the wood. Oh, he switched phones.
I switched phones with the other.
I was wondering. I was like, I'm like, either he's really still, right? I was like, is this the mannequin challenge? What are we doing?
Right. It's like, there you go, TikTok, right? But do us a favor. Show me, this is, if you're using the Pixel, show me the P20 Pro skin, because I think that's the carbon fiber one, isn't it? Oh, he's doing something. Well, anyways, if you're not a skin guy, if you're into looking skins, yeah, his audio's out. That's okay. Do us a favor. Go to our channel, Extreme Skins. That's our channel sponsor. They got great skins for every phone. And if you've got an iPhone, which I know Devin does, it's really good. They are in the UK, but even if they're in the UK, they're awesome customer service. They are really a good company. Yeah, check them out. There's links. Oh, there he goes. I don't know what he's doing. He's being weird.
Not a good thing. Oh, he's on mute. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, it's not working. You're muted.
No, but like when skins, man, like I'm definitely gonna have to look at them because I don't rock cases on my phone. I only do skins. Right. So for me, skins is hey, there we go.
So I was telling Devin about
StreamYard just freaked the fuck out. Like, I just jumped off and then straight back in, and then I went from using a dongle to a headphone jack, and it didn't know what to do.
Show the P20 Pro, the skin, because I was talking to Devin. He's into skins because he doesn't rock a phone.
My favorite skins on this one is on the Pixel.
I know, but show me the carbon fiber. There you go.
That carbon fiber. All right, I see.
Yeah, and they're really good, and they're really good as far as like even with shipping, even during COVID, they're really good at getting it to you.
Right around the edges, and I'm no good at this.
And also, if you follow them on Twitter, Devin, they're good because they're edgy as shit. They sent me a PS4 skin, and I fucked up the 4. I cut the middle out of it, and I posted it, and they roasted the shit out of me. Like, whoa, it's like you fucked it up. I'm like, what company roasts the customers? Like, these guys are awesome.
You're not a customer they expect it.
I know.
Like, but you seen it earlier. Did you see they retweeted my picture of the PS5 earlier, and they were like, "Oh, the controller so close." I was like, "Well, fuck, damn." Although to be fair, the controller was very fiddly around the edges because it's but still, the guys are so cool at that. It's brilliant.
Yes. So
because they can take it back. They can take it back if you like. Give it back to them. They'll be like, "Yeah, fucking bastards."
Right, so it's a really good company. So if you're looking at skins, and Devin says he doesn't rock cases on his phones, and he's a skin guy.
The PS5, because that other company decided that they're not going to make skins for the PS5 because it's not worth it.
I literally have my PS5 right here. It's literally
cool. But yeah, they're really good, and they're really good customer service. They're really community. If you have an issue or a question, they'll like respond like that, and they'll ship it out immediately. And the quality is top notch, and you're going to save yourself some money just because.
And if you fuck it up, they will roast you. But they will also, because they're quite good, they will also, if you fuck it up, send you a replacement.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it's a really good company.
They won't say you're an idiot, buy it again.
Well, they will say you're an idiot, but they won't make you buy it again.
Yeah, they're quite good like that.
I'm with it.
So anyways, but check them out. So Devin, anything you want to cover, anything your channel, like I said, if you have a website, anything you want to plug, please do so right now. We're at that time with the show. But if you want to tell me what you got going on as far as where can people find you, other than Twitter, where can they find you?
Like you guys just said, you guys can find me at YouTube, youtube.com/CKIDTech. If you're interested in someone that raps about technology, that's a little different than what other creators do out there on the platform, and much respect to all of them as well. But I just like to bring a little bit more of like my culture to the tech space, and so if you're interested in that, music, headphones, phones, or computers, whatever, anything tech, come holler at your boy. So that's where we at.
Cool. All right. Well, this is our last show before the Christmas holiday.
Oh, damn it.
Happy holidays, y'all.
We should have wore Christmas hats, man. What the fuck?
And I have a Christmas hat. My boss sent it to me for a Christmas gift.
I don't
he sent me a
hat.
Y'all should have told me. I have my Santa hat right over here. There.
I didn't even think about it, man. We could have thought about that, but that would have been actually a really good idea. Damn it. Now, well, maybe. Hey, but so for anybody who's celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, or if you got Christmas coming up, I realize that this year is going to be a challenge because of family and COVID and Tier 4 in the UK. Hopefully, this will be the last holiday.
Joe's in Tier 4. Joe, I'm in Tier 3. But Joe, as of today, is in Tier 4 land.
Wow.
Jesus,
He
man.
can't go anywhere for Christmas. Nowhere. He's got to stay at home. That's it.
Wow.
Right. So it's going to be a challenge.
So it's okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be a challenging year for all of us, but make sure that you be safe, and hopefully by this time next year we'll be past all this and we'll be able to resume normal lives and be with our families in a more of a better setting. And
I'll be there.
And then he'll come to the UK and the United States, and he'll come here. We'll visit. We'll take him around. We'll show him the good
ravioli,
stuff.
Man.
And the barbecue. And the barbecue is on point.
Yeah. You
definitely sugar fire. You gotta get some sugar fire.
Yep.
This place will blow you away.
Yeah.
I'll bring Chris, and then we'll.
We'll do Crown Candy Kitchen. We'll do all that shit. It'll be good times. It'll be good. Be safe in 2020. Enjoy your Christmas holiday. We'll be back on Sunday. We haven't really figured out what we're going to do as far as guests and anything. We're working that out. But as always,
we have a Christmas special.
Maybe. But we appreciate, Devin, you taking the time out. We realize we've used an hour and a half of your day on a Sunday. We realize that's also family day with your wife. So let her know that we apologize that we monopolized some of your time to come on our show to talk about tech. But we really appreciate you coming on. It's been our honor and privilege to speak to you today.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This was fun, man. This was dope.
We're unique. Well, we're memorable.
I love it, man. Being themselves and having fun, man. I'm all for it. This was dope.
Sounds good. All right. So that's our show, Across the Pondcast, the best podcast no one's ever heard of, except for the awesome people in the stream and that listen to our show. Same time next Sunday, 3 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. BST. We'll come back at you. We'll have some more fun, and we'll talk about whatever kind of gifts you got for the holiday season. Matt will get a lump of coal. Maybe we'll get him on TikTok, and I can go fuck myself. How about that? So for myself,
you can definitely go fuck yourself.
No. That's right. I'm a twat. So anyways, for myself, for Matt first, CKID, Devin, we'll see you. Enjoy your tech. Be safe. We'll see you next Sunday. You guys take care.
Happy holidays, everybody.